How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Anubis. Welcome to the show. And this is my updated deck profile of the Salamangreats. Alright, so if you saw the other one, I've basically mashed 3 decks together and doing a few things. But after I went into the hyperbolic time chamber and did some hardcore training, and now that I have a better understanding of how this deck works, yeah, a lot of playtesting in the past 24 hours. This deck profile will definitely run better in tournaments and stuff like that, so feel free to copy it card for card or add your own little spin on it. Alright, so to top it off, 3 ladybugs. Doesn't come with the starter deck. You have to get it with the other starter deck, but you know, whatever. I believe it's now $8 or $10 now, which is crazy because of the hype, but you know, all right, it's needed though. It's needed, definitely needed. Comes in clutch. You definitely need 3. I know I said you need it, but you really do need it. All right, so 3 gazelles. Awesome. 3 spinnies. 3 foxy. Only 1 jaguar. And that's it. That's all the Salamangreats right there. But that's not all the monsters. As you can see, we have the greatest hand trap of all time, Ash Blossom. Of course, we was never using the common. So yes, we're gonna stay with 3 Ash Blossoms. And new to the deck build that I didn't have the other one is I'm running 3 Draw and Lockbirds. Why? Because Draw and Lockbird is also God this format. It just stops so much plays right now. And as you can see, the next card is this jumping off the deck, waiting for to be pulled off. Effect Villa also comes in clutch. We're gonna run 2. So I know you're like, wow, that's a lot of hand drops. But hey, the engine itself of the Salamangreats is not that many monsters, so you can squeeze in the hand traps. And the fact that it runs a lot like Zoo, where you have a lot of 1 card, 2 card combos, you have room to have a handful of hand traps with only 1 or 2 cards of the Salamangreat, and still can pull off some incredible feels with plus. So I'm running 3 circles. So Searcher. Only 1 of their Monster Reborn will of the Salamangreat. Only 1 of the Fusion Fire. Only 1 Sanctuary, their Field Spell. The fact is, you can search for all these cards by dumping them in the grave and then add it to your hand. And even if they're destroyed or used or whatever, they go to the grave. You can repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, bring it back to your hand, so you don't have to run a whole lot of these, so it's fine. We have Foolish Burial because, you know, a lot of them have graveyard effects that can just jump right back out of the graveyard like Spinny. Then for the other decks using a lot of hand traps, or you know, the decks is copying this build that has a lot of hand traps, 3 Called by the Graves. And that's all the spells. This is a 40 card deck, by the way. I always do 40 card decks, if you didn't know. Alright, so we have 2 Roar. I see a lot of people using 1. And I think my other format actually, my other deck profile I actually use 3, but I really would love to use 3. Just room issues, and I don't want to go with 40 cards. And I know, like I said, other people cut this down to like 1. Some of them have added 2 because there's a hard once per turn. But here's the thing, though, I always want this to show up in my hand. Like I said, you can search for it, but I'd rather it show up in my hand with some hand traps, as well as, you know, some monsters that I can do my plays, then we have to search for it. I'd rather, you know, just to save me some work. And yes, it's a hard once per turn, but whoa, it stops everything. I mean, yes, let's do it. 2 Rage. And again, I see people only using 1 of this. Very few using 2. I would love to use 3. Again, I don't want to go over 40 cards, but yeah, it's freaking awesome. So basically, if you have a Salamangreat, you pretty much you pop your Salamangreat and you pop a card. That kind of suck. But if you have a link monster now, based on the level, the level of your link monster is how many cards you pop, and you don't pop your link monster. If I remember that correctly. So if you have a rank 3 link monster in the field, you pop 3, boom, let's clear that field. This is freaking awesome. And yes, it's a hard once per turn also, but I don't want to search for it. I'd rather show up in my hand. All right, so then we get into the Salams. So 1 Salam Judgment, 1 Salam Warning, because they're both at 1, obviously. And I'm running all 3 Salam Strikes, because this deck is all about controlling the field and negation. So, you know, why not max out on that card? And unlike the other cards, they're not a hard once per turn. And on top of that, you don't have to have a monster on board to activate those effects. So, you know, they come in clutch. I mean, you should already know this. All right, so now we get into the extra deck. I didn't add nothing in here too big or whatever. Because the 3 structure decks together is just seems like it's enough right now at this point. But so we have 3 Heat Leo, and I have a proxy, but I ordered it. It's in the mail. I order everything nowadays. So it's supposed to be 3 wolves. So that's what this is holding, the space for the 3rd wolf. And then we're using 3 ball, whatever. I see people want to use 1 or 2, but at this point I have room, so I put in 3. And I mean, you know, the combo, you know, it requires you to have 1 or whatever, but you know, since I have room, and this is for those moments where you bring them out and they ash you or effect veil you or something like that, then you're not able to do your combo. Then you know you can do the combo again. You know, later on in a round, you won't be, you know, short because you already used them and he got killed, or you linked them off or something like that. At least you have another one if you want to. You don't have to search for your field spell or whatever. So again, I only see people want to use 1 or 2 of these. I find 3 is needed, because if the match is stretched out or whatever, you kind of look for that 3rd one. I mean, there's other rank 3s to go into, but I don't know. The fact that he special summons another one to the field just expands the play. I feel that 3 is more important than having just 2. And then the brokenness freaking fusion right here, awesome. And these are the 2 extras I added. The Utopia package, just to help push for those OTKs. You're not gonna be making rank 4s too often from this build that I have anyway. I see other builds where people use like half their extra deck is rank 4s, and I'm like, okay, I gotta see these plays. But yeah, from the places that I did, very few times you're gonna go into rank 4, and what usually you do is to go over something that's, you know, you wasn't able to kill, or you just extending your play to kill you off your opponent. So yeah, either way, I think, you know, the Utopia package. All right, so this has been my updated profile of my Salamangreats. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to copy it and have mad fun. Subscribe, share my video. Deuces.